Happy birthday to me. Happy. Definitely didn't buy this myself because somebody forgot my birthday.
I thought we were celebrating America's birthday today.
It's also my birthday.
Happy birthday, Brian! Yay! Does it taste like disappointment?
Hello and welcome back to Good Bad Media, the show we watch terrible movies, tell you should to. I'm your host, Mr. Brian Chilgo, joined, as always, the other host, Mr. Kyle Hinton. Kyle, this episode comes out
America's
on
birthday.
the old 4th of July.
What?
Rough, right? Because it's a Sunday.
Yes.
Yeah, so it comes out on the 4th of July. So, Kyle, you found a masterpiece of American cinema to celebrate the birth of this nation.
So one of our favorite films, Independence Day.
Welcome to Earth.
Great movie.
Amazing.
Incredible film.
Will Smith, incredibly, he's the most charismatic man on the planet.
Look at you! Ship all banged up! Who's the man? Huh? Who's the man?
Punching aliens in the face.
Jeff Goldblum, cold virus, a computer virus.
Jeff Goldblum being literally just playing Jeff Goldblum.
Is that closing? Shut up! Must go faster. Must go faster. Must go faster.
And then Bill Pullman as the greatest fighter pilot president that this nation has ever seen.
Today, we celebrate our Independence Day.
And Randy Quaid when he was still marketable and not living in a
completely
van.
lost it. Yes.
Hello, boys! I'm back!
Or at least not as publicly. That Independence Day, great movie. So obviously we're not talking about Independence Day. We're talking about Independence Day
Disaster.
3, 2.
The worst title for one of these movies in a while.
Yes.
So the thing that's funny is I was on the IMDb page for this, and I looked it up, and this movie had an alternate title that's much more of like a reasonable title, which is just The Fourth.
Yeah, but you can't market that to people who think this is Independence Day.
But also, Independence Daysaster is awful and sounds like a joke, like you're making which I'm guessing what happened. My guess was that this started out as an attempt at an actual serious film. And actually, I mean, spoilers, I'll go to bat for it a little bit. This is not terrible.
It's not terrible. There's qualities of it that are bad.
Oh, yeah.
But like, as
these movies go.
As a general film, versus what this could have been.
Yeah.
And this is very close to an asylum movie.
Yes.
This could have been so much worse than what it was.
Yeah. It actually has a lot of okay stuff going for it, which we'll talk about. But my guess was even still, it didn't come out quite as good as they were hoping. So they realized instead of calling it The Fourth, let's lean into like the B moviness of it and call it Independence Daysaster, because at least that'll get an eyeballs.
Evidence to the fact it also premiered on Sci-Fi.
Yes, yeah, I think so that they leaned into that bad title on purpose because they knew their movie wasn't exactly like wasn't quite gonna live up to Independence Day standards. So this movie opens up in small town America. I don't know if we ever find out where.
Moose Ridge, Oregon, which
Moose Ridge.
is somewhere in rural Oregon.
There you go.
Because there's just forest everywhere.
But we're introduced to most of our main characters who live in this little town, including, and I don't remember his name. Pete is the fireman.
Yes.
He comes right in on his fire truck. He's our main character. And then we're also introduced to the president's son.
Yes, who in this movie has persistent perfect hair.
Yes. Yeah.
like the amount of hairstyling used for just his hair alone was probably a majority of the budget.
Oh yeah. They're outrunning alien drone robots and there's explosions and nonsense and it doesn't move an inch. Yeah. It's very jealous of whatever product he's using. But because by the end of a single episode of our show, my hair is dead. Nick Cage yelling, "You're such a little tart," is the grossest thing I've ever fucking seen in my entire life. It's just So I don't know what he's using.
Starting to get a little. There we go.
Yeah, it'll happen. It's too warm. It's summer.
We already know the drinking game. Every time Brian touches his hair,
take a drink, and then be wasted by the first 10 minutes. It's the best way to watch our show.
Good Bad or Bad Bad is not responsible for the alcohol related
for liver damage as a result of playing the Good Bad or Bad Bad drinking game. Yeah. I love his introduction line. He's like, his characterization doesn't really go anywhere, but he's introduced initially kind of like as this weird, like out of he says,
I don't know. I don't want to go someplace where I'm just the president's son, you know? I want to go somewhere with regular people like you guys.
I don't want to go somewhere where I'm just the president's son. He's talking about going to college. He's like, I don't want to go somewhere where I'm just the president's son. I want to be with the regular people.
He's going to go to an Ivy League school. You know it. He's going to go to like Harvard or Yale.
Yeah. But he's playing this like weird, like kind of politician-y. Like he's like, I want to be with the regular people like you. And then we're also introduced to, and I don't remember the girl's name. Like, who even is she?
I have no clue.
She's not anybody's kid or anything. Like, she's not any of the main characters.
I think she's like, obviously
just friends
went to
with
school or something.
Yeah, she goes to school with them. But I guess I wasn't sure if she was related to any of our main characters, and I don't think she is. I think she's just a friend, and I don't remember her name, so it doesn't really matter. But she's like eventually becomes the love interest of President Boy, who Andrew is maybe his name. I don't remember.
I so badly want that to be a movie now. Just President Boy.
President Boy. Their basically first kid is essentially that movie.
First kid.
Unlock the door. Unlock the door.
Facing assassins is one thing, but facing high school is a lot tougher.
Then we're introduced to the vice president. Who's in this shadowy room talking about how we got to increase the defense budgets. And then we're introduced to the president on a helicopter who's flying to Mooseport or whatever to meet his brother.
I'm about ready to say, by the end of the movie, he's not wrong with the amount of munitions used.
Yeah, they use literally all of their missiles by the end of this movie. But he's introduced, he's talking to the president, who is the brother of firefighter hero.
Who is on Marine One, which I'm not sure what the transportation is for I guess Marine One fits on Air Force One or something like that.
I don't know.
They're on the other side of the country.
Yeah, they're in Oregon. It is weird that, that's normally the thing they take like from, the White House to like the airport
Camp
or whatever.
David or something,
But no, they're apparently flew it all the way across the country or something. But he's flying his helicopter to go in and visit the fine people of Mooseport, Oregon or whatever for their 4th of July celebration.
He's coming home.
Yeah, he's coming home to see his brother and his son.
Well, 3 years running, he's canceled, so come on. Your brother's running the free world. Cut him some slack.
So those are all our main players. And then kind of immediately right away, shit goes crazy.
Yes.
And giant robot penises explode from the earth. Kyle.
They're like graboids from the Tremors movies, just robotic graboids.
Yes, absolutely giant. Well, they just look like giant robot dicks. They're like what if Optimus Prime, like if you made like a fan art of Optimus Prime, like railing, Starscream, this is what his dick would look like. I feel pretty
Why are you
positive.
putting that image in my head?
You're welcome, everybody. That's out there somewhere, but
I'm sure it is.
But so these, and then the other person we didn't introduce is the scientist lady, who works for SETI, and because we go to SETI, and that's actually
what is SETI in the because is SETI
search for extraterrestrial or something extraterrestrial something I don't know.
Yes, which they look for aliens.
Yeah, essentially, they monitor. And so that's the first scene we get with them is basically right out of Contact. It's like the exact scene where they find the signal in Contact.
Is this a joke?
No, I checked it 3 times.
The signal's definitely extrasolar.
But like she's in her little
shitty
VW bus or whatever, and she gets a call from her partner who's like, "Hey, we got a signal. Open your computer." She opens her computer. It's instantly playing the signal. It's like, okay, interesting. But she's like, "Oh shit!" And apparently the signal is coming from her area, and we find out later that the aliens had a signal come to Earth, and then it hit the alien giant machines in the earth that had been there for millennia.
Yes, these giant robot penises, as you said, these burrowing robot penises, had been in Earth's crust for like
millennium,
thousands of years. And they're like, well, humans are we're a very
relatively
young
new
species.
species.
It's possible that the aliens were already here.
No, how is that possible?
Humans are a very young species. I mean, they could have been here for millennia.
So this stuff could have been here for just millions of years almost.
Yeah, exactly. And that's apparently what happened. And then this signal activates them, and it's time to harvest the Earth or whatever.
They send a signal, they wake up, and then terraforming.
And yeah, I loved when those things started popping up everywhere, and I was like, I can't wait to see the actual aliens if this is what the drills look like.
Much like Contact, we don't get to fucking see them.
Yeah, but that's bullshit, because at least in Contact it makes sense, because they're like weird, super hyper dimension. They're not like this. I
was so pissed off in Contact with that.
I love Contact. It's a great movie.
I love it. I think it's a great film, but then it gets to that point where it's like, here's the big reveal. I took on the form of your father because I thought that was what would make you most comfortable. You build this up for a fucking hour and a half, and you give us this.
I liked it. I think it's fun. But anyways, but that's a very different type of movie than that's more of a hard sci-fi kind of more of philosophical type of movie. This movie is blockbuster schlock. There should be fucking aliens. Like I should see an alien.
Well, the issue with it is it was hard to either find aliens that weren't using other stuff that was pre-rendered.
Oh yeah, because a lot of
stock in this.
I was wondering I couldn't decide if all of the drills and balls. It's literally Earth gets invaded by alien balls and penises. Like that's all. That's all it is, Kyle.
It reminds me of Taking Her.
It's getting pushed into his butt, and so some of the blue energy gets into him. Yeah. But I was wondering if all of those were pre-purchased assets or if they designed those themselves, because they're kind of cool looking.
I think the burrowing things, maybe they designed those. Yeah. But the balls, definitely not.
Look, they looked familiar, but I also didn't know if I'd seen them in anything or not, or if they just looked kind of like stuff from Transformers or a million other. Because, they're just like a million spinning blades.
It's a bunch of rotating metal, basically.
Yeah, it looks like every design choice in a Transformers movie, basically. So then what happens? The balls show up and they start destroying everything. And then at this point, she's driving back and she runs into our hero, Pete out in the, I don't even remember how they run into each other. Like she's broken down and he finds her or something like that.
So he's trying to meet up with the police
he's trying to get back to town because he left.
Yeah, because everything's going crazy. They see Marine One get attacked.
Yeah, and then I think he goes to try to get to her. I don't remember. And then he ends up coming back into her. And he's trying to get to his. I don't remember the beginning of this movie. I watched Kyle this morning.
Well, it goes very, very calm and everything. It goes very, very slow, and then it freaking goes to 60, and it's abrupt chaos.
Yeah. But so he meets up with her, and at one point she's got this device, and this becomes an important device. We got to introduce this device, which is, I swear to God, just like one of those air cannons from Spencer's that you pull the thing on back and shoot a ball of air at somebody's face. That's what it looks like she's holding. But apparently it's some sort of emitter that shoots out what does she say? Not photon, phonon something.
I thought they were describing it as noise.
Yeah, essentially noise. But it's waves. I don't know.
Okay. Don't sound waves normally require air?
It's like standing next to the speaker at a heavy metal concert. You don't just hear the sound, you also feel the bass vibrate through your whole body.
Yeah, because they're not sound waves, though, Kyle. They're phonons, which is different. I don't know, Kyle. I'm sure it's all made up bullshit. But I just love, because it ultimately, this thing is just becomes a Ratchet and Clank gun.
It literally does.
It's literally just a Ratchet and Clank.
They have to give it some sort of visualization. Otherwise, it's like, what's it do?
Yeah,
they give it like a weird
blue kind of
blue ring
wave type of thing. And it looks exactly like the scatter gun or like the shotgun thing from Ratchet and Clank. I was like, oh, that's fucking dope. They got a Ratchet and Clank gun. So his buddy shows up at one point. They're trying to, everybody's going everywhere trying to get to different people. It's all chaos at this point. And his buddy, we introduced at the beginning, was like his friend firefighter or whatever, shows up, and they like bump into each other on the day, and
he's immediately killed.
Immediately destroyed. But I love that our buddy doesn't even check. Like, he runs towards the fire truck, like his friend like runs towards the fire truck, and one of the giant penises explodes out of the ground and fucks the fire truck to death. And then like we kind of see the friend get like hit by shrapnel, and they just hightail it out of there. He doesn't even check. I was like, wait, did he die? He
shows up at the very end of the movie going,
hey man, just got my arm hurt a little bit, and you just bailed on me. Meanwhile, they're evacuating the Capitol.
They're evacuating the Capitol DC. For some reason, does the vice president have an office at the White House?
I don't know. No, he's at the Capitol. He's leaving the Capitol.
I thought he was leaving the White House.
No, because we see the Capitol like explode.
Yes.
A penis explodes through the roof of the Capitol and blows it up.
Fucks America.
Fucks the Capitol to death. It's fantastic.
Sir, we had a mayday from the president's helicopter. They were going down.
The choice of these giant robot penises being the thing destroying everything is quite hilarious and amazing. But yeah, it's so the Capitol explodes and the vice president made it out.
Which
just
I'm pretty
in time.
sure they got a bunch of B-roll footage of just the Capitol.
Yeah,
and they were like, "All right, now we're gonna go ahead and composite over the Capitol building here." And it's like the worst After Effects.
It's not great
ever.
It's not fantastic. But it could look worse.
It's true. It's just it's very flat images that were like motion tracked on a very flat image.
Yeah, and but so also I think we mentioned that meanwhile the Marine One has gone down, like you said. It's been hit by several balls and it has been destroyed. It's been teabagged to death. The Marine One has been teabagged down. And then so the president, so they think the president's dead. They can't get a hold of him. God damn. And this is the vice president is now in like a situation room, like he gets to some bunker, which is clearly like the fucking conference room at a Regency Hyatt or something like that. It's like with just like a giant projecting screen on the wall.
I just wanted to say thanks for choosing the Airport Hilton for your conference.
You're welcome. Now leave us alone.
I'm convinced that this was like a music school of some sort. Or
yeah.
Because they're in these like tiny corridors that's just like cement walls and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's like I think
very institutional.
I think a military base would have slightly wider walls and also not as shitty concrete or whatever.
Probably.
It absolutely looks like
probably filmed
the basement of like your high school.
Yeah, probably exactly where they filmed. But the VP is like, we got to do something. And they're like, well, the president, because originally the president was on the phone as the attack was happening, and he's like, don't do anything yet. Like, we got to figure out what's going on. He said,
we don't even know what we're dealing with. We know exactly what we're dealing with. It's an invasion.
By who? From where? We need intel.
I want to make a calculated strike, not some pot shot in the dark.
Don't attack or anything like that. But then they lose contact with him and they think he's dead. And the VP's like,
That is not your call to make, Mr. Vice President.
The president is nowhere to be found. It's exactly my call to make.
All right, I'm in charge. And the movie is very hard trying to make us think the VP is being like an asshole or like is like a not villain, but is kind of is abusing his power and is like this sort of thing. But it all makes total sense at this point.
Because like everything that reflects on his actions is from a lack of intelligence. It's from a lack of knowledge of what these things are.
They know the helicopter with the president in it crashed, and they don't have they don't have the transponders not working. Nothing's working, so they're like, as far as they know, the president is dead, and there's no reason to think he wouldn't be dead. Helicopters, when they crash, are people in them die 95% of the time or something like that.
Because he goes into a crazy spin. He's literally seen thrown on camera. Right. But then it shows him like he's on a fucking riverbed with a parachute that had been deployed. When the fuck did he put that on?
Yeah. Also, parachute's very tough to use on a helicopter as it's crashing. I feel like trying to get out without getting sucked in. Yeah, like I don't understand how he pulled that off, but sure. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it was very funny. And then but again, the VP is like, all right, we need leadership right now. Obviously, we don't know about the president. I'm assuming leadership role until we figure out what's going on with the president, which makes total sense, but they play it as like this villainous move.
Oh, it's a power grab.
Yeah, it's like, no, that seems like it makes sense. I don't know. But he issues the order for an attack, which we'll get to in a second. We also are introduced to Nick Miller is the kid's name. He's a side character who doesn't matter, but we got to talk.
He had a chance to meet the president because he won like a lottery raffle.
Yeah, he's like the comic relief friend kind of, at least for as long as he's alive in this movie. And he kind of has a crush on the other main girl. And during the attack he got hit by something. He has a gaping wound in his abdomen. He's got a piece of shrapnel in his freaking liver. Yeah. But then pretty much immediately, Pete and Celia, I think is her name, the scientist, they find them. And so now they're all together, the kids and Pete and the scientist lady. The president, meanwhile, stumbles across. This movie is so many movies in one, Kyle. Yeah. This is like 8 different ideas that they rolled into one. The president stumbles across a barn.
And of course, in a barn in the middle of Oregon, in the middle of the freaking wilderness, you expect to find a hacker.
A sweet white hat hacker. Yeah, this like this kid in this house, and he's like, come check out my command center. And I'm like, oh, now we're doing Live Free or Die Hard.
Why'd you bring a cop into my command center? Command center.
Sweet, perfect. This is fantastic. But he comes across this kid who's like a hacker kid. And then I actually like some of their scenes. There's like a moment where he's like, I need you to get me into content. You know, you got to hack into something. And the kid's like,
I can hook you up. It just might take a felony.
It'll take a felony or two. And they're like, they have fun.
I was a little disappointed they didn't go with consider this a pardon.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. But they didn't do any of that. They were just like, aliens are taking over Earth. Forget about the felonies.
Forget about the felonies. Yeah, they had some built-in easy jokes there.
Work with the president thing here.
Yeah, I agree with that. But in overall, I actually thought this hacker kid was pretty good. Like, did an okay job in this role and was kind of fun.
Aliens have invaded the Earth, Todd.
So, thumbs up to the felonies.
Yeah, thumbs up to felonies.
Right. Okay. Yes, sir, Mr. President.
And then also he has to introduce his fun alt girl hacker friend who shows up with like the sweet side braids and like, yeah, fantastic.
The only thing it was missing was both of them trying to use the same keyboard.
I was like, oh my god, it's the NCIS character, because like literally, it's like now we have like an alt, like a punk girl hacker. Perfect. We got to use 2 keyboards at the same time.
Too fast.
Oh, this is not good. We're using our connection to the APHIS database. Sever it.
I can't. It's a point attack.
Move over. Such a great scene.
Mark Hamill unplugs this. Like, it's on the modem. It's on the LAN system. All you did was unplug a monitor.
Oh goodness, it's so good. So then, like I said, the VP orders an attack on the like the balls. He's got his squadron.
It's right out of Independence Day, of course.
Directly out of Independence Day scene.
Everything's looking good. They're blowing up a few of them.
Yeah.
But then,
the tides turn. Which is so stupid, because it seems like the thing that's dumb about this scene is that they're like destroying the shit out of these balls initially, and then something happens and they just start losing, and I don't know what transpired that made them,
because like the balls are like, they don't have like force fields or anything like in Independence Day.
Yeah.
They're drones.
They're just little
insanely expendable drones.
Yeah. Yeah. And they blow up a bunch of them, but then the balls turn around and start destroying all the planes. And but when they're winning at first, I love one of the I think it's the VP's like,
picked the wrong day to mess with us.
2-2 coming around 2-3-1. Pick the wrong day to mess with us. Great. But they even do the line from Independence Day.
Get him out of there!
Get him out of out of there! Get him out of there! The lady who's like, I don't know, she's supposed to be Secretary of State or something. She's like, get him out of there. And I was like, come on, fuck you.
Get them out of there.
You don't get to steal the best line from Independence Day. So meanwhile, they're cut back to Pete and the scientist lady, and again they're getting attacked by a ball now. Like there's one like buzzing around them, and she has this idea that they can use the air cannon thing to shoot the ratchet and clank gun to like channel it and shoot down. Like it'll disrupt their electronics and they'll crash essentially. And there's one flying at him, and he's like,
turn this thing on.
Green button.
What?
Green button.
Get back.
how do you shoot this thing? She's like, push the green button, and he's like, bloop, and it shoots it, and it shuts down and blows it out of the sky. Also, I thought that was so stupid that I was like, because here's the thing that I found annoying about this whole premise is like missiles also work. Like the planes were blowing them up fine. They just lost because there was too many of them, I think. I don't understand why this air cannon gun would be better than a missile, because it feels like it would be harder to aim. Now, ultimately, it's because they figure out a way to like supercharge it to they do the same Independence.
I mean, granted, it's obvious that they ran out of assets where they didn't want to expend too much, but like there's surface to air missiles and stuff like that. There's so many different ways for them to attack these drones.
So many ways
than just using dogfighters.
Yeah, it's so dumb. It is kind of not thought through all the way.
So, but budget.
Yeah, exactly. So this is where I don't know what they're doing, but they're running, and this is where the kid gets sucked into the bug zapper.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to describe it. Nick Miller gets sucked into a bug zapper.
I think
they're trying to leave SETI or something, or because didn't they go to SETI at one? I don't know if that's where they are yet, but
they were needing to either fix their ratchet and clank gun, or they were needing to make like a transmitter because they were going to send it remote. They're going to send it.
We got to get back to base. All right, we got a weapon now. The military needs to know about it. Come on, let's go.
Space.
I don't remember, but they're running around and this big spaceship starts coming out of the ground, and like flying into the sky, and as it's happening, like it taking off somehow creates suction. I don't know. I don't understand it at all, but it somehow creates suction, and it like starts sucking the girl up into it, and Nick like grabs her, and she's holding on to the side of the thing, and it's an okay looking stunt. Like it looks relatively convincing, but then he saves her. And
it's like, oh yeah,
I guess I'll let go and get sucked. And when I say bugs, it's a giant blue like zappy thing, and he's like, ah. Yeah. I wish there had been that sound effect. It was just like, fucking bug zappered.
But they have a plan now.
Yes,
because they know like these drones are coming to get other drones because they need the power source.
Yeah.
This power core is like, I guess, like insanely valuable.
Yes, well, because they see one of the things crash and they're looking at it, and then some more of the things come to attack them, and the air cannon is out of batteries. The ratchet and clank gun is out of batteries, but they realize that this green crystal tube thing.
Because all they do is like put it next to it, and it just powers.
It powers it. It's like radiant, which seems potentially possible.
I'm pretty sure Pete got cancer after that.
Yeah, that was my thing. Was like, okay, and then cut to the epilogue of this story. 9 months later, all of them died of cancer from being exposed to massive levels of radiation from this space battery or whatever the fuck it is. Because they just pick up this giant irradiated looking thing and they're like rubbing it around themselves. And I'm like, I was just like, cuts to the epilogue and they're all just like, all of their body parts are just falling off their body in the hospital. But he uses it and it like supercharges it and he blows up like 10 of them or whatever. And he says I think it's right after this, he says, "Welcome to America."
Welcome to America!
It's not. Again, how dare you? You can't take the best lines from Independence Day and just make them worse and just do worse versions of them.
Welcome to Earth.
They're like, fuck you. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. So they realize that they have a plan now. They just need to shut down the mothership because they know there's a mothership up in orbit, like by the moon, it seems like. And their plan is if we get this cannon that's supercharged or whatever up there, we can set it off with a signal from SETI, I think.
If whatever you have at SETI has a strong enough signal, this will trigger that widget of yours.
Good stuff.
And then that will shut down the mothership.
Yeah, we can trigger it to do its big thing.
Yeah.
And we've supercharged the hell out of it.
Yeah.
And so they're just going to make a massive shutdown.
Like EMP pulse, essentially, is how it's going to work out.
And they're like, how are we going to... They need to figure out a way to get the thing up there. So the scientist lady decides to just kill herself.
Oh, God, yeah. Are we even at that part already?
I don't know. It's further down.
I feel like we're not quite there yet, but it's getting pretty close to that. So the...
The vice president is like, launch all the missiles that we can do remotely.
Oh yeah, they shoot all the missiles at the from like all the submarines and stuff up into at the mothership in space, and we get the scene again from Independence Day where you're seeing all the little like beep 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 flying at it, and then they just
disappear.
They all get obliterated because the little drone balls can like take them all out. So none of the missiles get through. And we'll talk about the missiles later because I didn't understand the end of this movie. I didn't understand it, but we'll get there in a second. Also, there's a little scene where one of the girls starts freaking out. It's after Nick dies, and then the president's son like kisses sense into her. She's like losing her mind, and he's like, "Mwah!" And she's like, "Okay, I'm fine now."
Yeah, that replaced the old-fashioned movies.
Yeah, I was like, I guess we're getting better. I guess that's better than slapping her.
You're hysterical.
Yeah. Which our next movie has several scenes of people slapping sense into other people. Oh my God.
But they Pete and his ragtag bunch.
They run into the president. Yeah, I love the scene where they run into each other, like they're like driving past each other on the road, and we get this shot of the president in the car, like, wait a second.
He's giving him fucking death eyes.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Just staring daggers.
Yeah, but then they're like, oh shit, yeah, it's the president. So now they're all grouped up together. And they're introducing everybody. They're walking again. They're going to SETI. This is where they're going to SETI, I believe. And I love when they introduce everybody like, hey, this is this person, this is this person. And they introduce the hacker girl and they go, and this is Lenny. And she's just like, hey.
This is Todd. Happy Independence Day. It's Lenny.
Hey.
She says it so passive aggressively. And I was like, oh no, Kyle, I think I'm falling in love with the old hacker girl. It was bound to happen. But we also find out the air is becoming toxic because of the aliens.
Yeah, because they keep emitting like toxic fumes
or something.
The gases and energy being released by these giant drills are fundamentally changing our atmosphere.
Which doesn't ever matter because it's just like another thing. Like if they don't do anything within like 3 days, the atmosphere will become unbreathable and all the humans will die anyways. So it's like more of a ticking clock, I guess, but whatever.
The base where the vice president and other people are, it gets attacked.
Yes.
And they just get killed.
They all get killed. The VP is like running past a guy who's like trapped under a rock. He's like, help. He's like, fuck you. And runs past and then gets immediately fucked to death by a giant alien dick. It's fantastic. It's so good. But then in the scene right before this, which is the scene you're talking about, where Celia, and I don't know why she decides she needs to do this, but
it seems like they could have just tossed it anywhere.
And it would just take it.
Yeah.
But so she has the cannon and she's looking around in slow-mo and I'm like, so she's about to kill herself. That's what this scene means. She's like looking at all the other people and it's in slow motion. I was like, what is happening? Uh-oh, she's going to sacrifice herself for some reason. And she gets out of the car. I love she's like, stop the car. And he's like, okay, why? And she gets out, runs into the field and gets
destroyed.
Pulverized. She's like bursts into a spray of blood mist. Like when it hits her, there's like a spurt of blood that goes and flies in the air when the ball hits her. But then the ball grabs because we didn't mention it, but they've been scavenging like metal and shit. And so after it kills her, it grabs the gun thing and flies it off into outer space. Yes. It's just super great. Oh man. And then because we even get a shot a little bit after this of the in space of the drone flying and the little gun like on a little tether, like me. So stupid.
So they're getting to the place where they can send the
SETI,
mission to trigger the thing.
To her actual office. And the guy's trying to break the president's son's going to break the door open. And the guy's like, hey, just opens the door, which I thought was a fun and well executed gag.
The hackers are able to hack into another US
some other
base
server or whatever.
And they're like, hey, use that iPad on me.
Yeah, just hold up the iPad and film him like my dad trying to film like a fucking Christmas party. But he's so he's able to talk to them, and I also love in that scene that the beer from the beginning was still on the desk. Yeah, continuity, baby. This movie's paying attention to all the details, Kyle. the six-pack.
Double Eagle. Yeah, I think it's whiskey, right?
Well, there's whiskey and there's a 6-pack of beer. Like the guy at the beginning said a 6-pack of beer because he was going to a barbecue or something, and then shit went crazy. But there's also a 6-pack or also like a handle of whiskey or something, which is what our hero grabs because the one of the balls is there. Not nearly. No, not. And so one of the balls is there, and it destroyed the power for the station or whatever, and our guys are like, well, and they don't have power to like hack into it, so he runs out there, and also there's fireworks everywhere. We mentioned the scene earlier where they should use fireworks, but it doesn't fucking matter.
I guess because
I don't even know what the fireworks did.
Because they had all these fireworks in the fire chief truck.
Yeah,
I'm guessing they like procured them from somebody or something.
Or they could have been taken. He could have been using them. Like, I don't know if fireworks are legal or not in Oregon, so that would be the answer to that question, whether or not maybe he took them from somebody or was just using them, bought them to use himself.
I don't believe in any state that doesn't let you blow up a part of it.
Celebrate the independence of your nation by blowing up a small part of it.
All right. I feel like it's probably illegal in a lot of those states because of forest fires. Like it's probably just like no.
It's the dry season. Yeah. And it's incredibly hot.
Let's just shoot a bunch of napalm all over the world, all over the fucking state, baby. Woohoo! But he has a Roman candle.
On a positive note, they did find Bigfoot. Ran out of forest to hide.
Yeah, but he shoves a rag covered in whiskey in his gas tank and then he turns his alarm on, like his siren on or whatever, and then he's got a Roman candle and he hides behind this thing.
And he relives every kid's like 10-year-old like Roman candle
amazing.
Fight.
First shot nails it, blows up the car as the ball's trying to pick it up. So now the drone gets exploded, and he goes and he grabs the battery out of it.
The cancer battery?
Yeah, he grabs the cancer battery and shoves it in. Again, the stupid thing, like this power box got fried. It's not like something got disconnected or whatever. Yeah. It like exploded.
It's completely shorted in every possible way.
And he just shoves the battery into it.
It works.
And it fucking works. And I get it that it's like space magic, super sci-fi space stuff, but it's so fucking stupid. And then he so they're able to get through and hack, and like you said, they do the iPad communication with the president, and this is his best Bill Pullman, and it's so bad in comparison.
We can't give up, and we will win. Here and now, on this 4th of July, we will make a stand.
We're gonna fight on our Independence Day.
Yeah, no, and like compared to Bill Pullman's speech, this is the lowest tier possible, like fucking dramatic hoorah speech. Also, he's giving it to one guy. It's like one guy.
It's not like he's the president. And he knows who he's talking to.
Yeah.
He's talking to, I don't know, some major or whatever. It's like, he's going to follow your direction.
Yeah.
What are you trying to convince him
Who are you trying to, like, and again, I don't even get what he's trying to do to, like, rah him up. He doesn't need, because in Independence Day, it's like, the big, before the final battle, we're all getting together. A lot of us are going to die, kind of like, let's do a bad. This is just, like, one guy in an office who's going to turn a key. Like, he doesn't need this big speech to, like, get him amped up to turn a key. It's so stupid. And I thought they were going to do a thing where, like, the hacker, because this would have made sense if the hacker, one of the girl or the guy or whatever, had been like, wow, this is really good, and had sent him out on the airwaves. No. You know what I mean? Yeah, like had been like, oh, we got to get this message out to the world. But no, nothing like that. He just talks to one guy. Cool.
And then they give like little quips to the hacker chick, and she's like, I should have voted.
Yeah, she's like, I feel bad for not voting. It's great.
You feel really bad for not voting.
So meanwhile, they get the power back just in time to send out the pulse.
Yes.
As the guy shooting the missiles, the last couple missiles they have or whatever. But Kyle, I thought the whole point of the wave thing was that it would basically destroy it. And like it would shut it down.
It would break all communication.
Yeah. But how's it going to get... I guess, okay, my thought was just that it basically just shut them down and they were like, fucked. But apparently it just shuts it down because they still need to destroy it, I guess. Mm-hmm. So that's what the missile's for. I missed that part. I was like, why don't you I thought the whole pulse was going to do it all for them. But no. They got this missile and a lot of the missiles get blown up, but there's one missile. It's a little missile that could, and it makes it through all the defenses. Boom, and explodes it. And we get a grand fireworks display.
It's Randy Quaid hitting the core.
Yes, it is. It really is. That would have been a fun little... like Easter egg if they had like on the side of the missile it had like a code or like
it's literally in binary. It says,
yeah,
I'm back.
Yeah. That'd be fantastic. That'd be so good. But they blow it all up, woohoo! And I was like, great, we never get to see the aliens.
We get everybody like arms, yeah, we did it, yeah.
Save the day.
Cut the space. By the way, fuck you.
8 other goddamn motherships flying in. It's like, oh, so they all died.
Yeah.
So literally Earth was destroyed. Fantastic. Yep. That's the nice, because it's not even like sequel bait. It's like they would just lose.
No,
they would just
they're just dead.
They would just be dead. It was a fantastic, stupid ending. I thought, here's the thing. This movie, Kyle, I actually thought was okay. Like I mentioned it at the beginning, but the acting was all pretty good. Like I thought the acting was pretty good. It's shot relatively competently. Like there's not
the special effects are atrocious.
They're not good, but they're not terrible, but they're not good. And they at least do a couple things like where you actually see some stuff happen, like when they shoot the one they shoot it with like the Ratchet and Clank gun and it crashes over their heads. It's at least like it's not just, it would be one thing like I would expect this kind of movie to like just have the shots of the giant penises and the balls doing the same thing over and over, and it doesn't really do that. So I thought that was at least nice, but because like compared to some of the like shark movies where it's the same shot of the shark like 8 times reversed and upside down and whatever, so I at least appreciated that.
It does have the quality of not being boring.
Yeah, and it's also a tight 90. It gets in and out. It doesn't overstay its welcome. I guess I'll say good bad, but only in the sense of it being not terrible, but it's not good bad in the sense of like a normal good bad.
By itself, it is not a great film.
No.
But as an entertainment value,
it's all right. And it's not
serviceable.
And it's not so bad that it's fun to laugh at. So I guess that also means it's bad. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what. It's kind of more like some of the other ones we've talked about. Like
it's mockbuster.
It's mad bad. It's mad bad.
Give me the PNG for that.
The mad bad file. I usually just like cross out and then put a type over it with I don't know how I do it. Figure something out. But yeah, it's fine. Happy Independence Day, I guess. Who fucking cares? You can do us a giant favor heading over to patreon.com/goodbadbad and supporting us there for however much you want a month. You can also do us a giant favor by heading over to tpublic.com and search for Good Bad or Bad Bad or Quantum Physics, and you can get your GBorBB merch. Yeah. Kyle, I have a podcast called This Film Is Out where we talk about movies that are based on books. When this is out, our most recent episode will have been on Hatchet, the children's book Hatchet by Gary Paulson. We got a kid who crashes in the Canadian wilderness and has to survive with only a hatchet.
Every single
Gary Paulson book?
Yeah.
Yes, basically, yes. Oh, some kid surviving in the wilderness. Yeah. Yes. But it was made into a movie called A Cry in the Wild in like the 90s.
A classic portrait of one boy's struggle with nature and how alone in the wilderness he finds himself.
And we haven't watched it.
Sounds like it must have been a very high production.
No, it was actually produced by Roger Corman or his wife or something like that. So yeah, I'm excited, looking forward to watching, because the reason we're doing it is because it's for my birthday. It was my birthday pick because it was one of my favorite books when I was a kid, but I've never seen the movie, so we'll see how that goes. Kyle, twitch.tv/the things on screen. Go there and Kyle streams occasionally. It's been a while for me.
Yes. You can watch me slowly turn into a horrible dictator in Minecraft because the game actively encourages enslavement. Mojang
from Kyle.
Mojang doing it right.
Hot take from Kyle. All right. So yeah, head over to Twitch and you can support us or follow us there and get some extra fun bonus content. That's going to do it for this episode. Until next time, keep watching movies.
Especially Independence, Daysaster.
I don't have
a good Happy birthday, Brian!
Oh, you remembered!